strange to be up here now that I no longer preach from here. Seems strange to have a text too, but here we go. As we give thanks today for St. Paul's conversion and the great love with which he nurtured the earliest Christian communities, it is my responsibility to report to you on the life of this Christian community over the past year. And as I was beginning to prepare this annual report, I prayed the collect with which we began our liturgy this morning, and realized that in its succinct phrases, it actually touches on the complete fullness of the Christian life in community. So if you would like to have that little prayer before you, it's on the bulletin insert in your programs. And I'll be sort of using it as a coat hanger to think about our year. The prayer begins by mentioning the preaching of the Apostle Paul. He was quite a preacher, and I take the preaching ministry very seriously. So as we prepared to celebrate our 50 years as a congregation in 2014, and I hope everyone enjoyed that celebration throughout the year, I knew that I definitely wanted preaching to be at the heart of that Golden Jubilee Festival. So beginning last January, we were blessed to have preachers who had helped form us as a parish over the last 50 years, more or less, to return and to once again proclaim the Word and to share with us in remembrances after church at our adult forums. You might remember we began last January with Bishop Ladehoff, followed by Father Roy Coulter, and then a number of our former associate rectors, Paul Bartholomew, Ann Bartlett, Nicole Samopoulos, then going way back, Sally Shippen, and Julie Smith. The year culminated in December with a Jubilee preacher who had never served at St. John's, but who represented a very formative piece of our history. The community of St. John Baptist in Mendham, New Jersey, you see, provided sisters to run and to teach Oregon Episcopal School's predecessor, St. Helen's Hall, from 1904 to 1944. And we really have them to thank for their being an OES today. Because of the ministry of their order, we chose to be under the patronage of St. John the Baptist as a parish. The celebration of our Jubilee year made it clear to me early on that we had lost a rich connection to our past by allowing our relationship with the sisters to fizzle out. And so on the third Sunday of Advent, we flew the Reverend Sister Superior, Eleanor Francis, out to Portland to lead us on a regional quiet day, thanks to the Greenfield Lecture Series, and to preach and teach about the religious life, as well as to receive your rector as an associate of the community of St. John Baptist. And it is my hope that in the years ahead, others of you will feel the Spirit leading you to join in such a relationship of mutual prayer and support. And of course, in addition, we were so greatly blessed as a parish by preaching throughout the year of Mother Heather, of our other assisting clergy, and for a short time, if you remember this fall, our two deacons. The whole point of preaching is, as the collect points out, to cause the light of the gospel to shine throughout the world. The gospel, however, is proclaimed in many ways and in many venues. The gospel message shines when members of this parish visit the women of Coffee Creek Correctional Facility, leading them in worship and ensuring that they receive Holy Communion on a regular basis. The gospel message shines through the work that our dedicated social ministries team leads us in, all of which was showcased at last week's coffee hour. If you weren't here for that and didn't get the little brochure, there's a marvelous poster that right back by the front doors that they developed that show the many ways that we reach out into the community. The gospel message shines when healing prayer is offered to the sick and suffering, when our beloved associate mother Heather agrees to serve as part-time chaplain at OES Upper School, and when one of our own, Andy McQuarrie, answers God's call to leave the familiar and safe and venture 3,000 miles away for seminary education as apostolate for holy orders. The gospel message shines when we raise $15,000 at our annual auction to give away to the important work of Southwest Community Health Center in Multnomah Village. And gospel light shines when we do welcome 2 new deacons into the life and ministry of this place, and then by the time we've barely gotten to know them, send them off to minister to the wider church and to grow in their own vocations. Next, in our collect, we remember Paul's wonderful conversion, the whole point of this feast day today. Even in this day and age, people are known to have dramatic conversion experiences. But the conversion that most of us experience is a more subtle, but ever as powerful, daily growing as Christian disciples. This type of conversion begins in the cradle, and it doesn't stop this side of the grave. It is nurtured by the kind of remarkable ministry that we see in our nursery and church school, both in the Holy Innocents class and the early Christians who are down below us right at this moment. Daily conversion was nurtured by the adult formation we experienced last year in the Lenten series on different prayer styles for different personality types, in our many Sunday adult forums, in our Faith in Film series, and for a few of us in our parish pilgrimage to walk in the footsteps of St. Paul throughout Greece. So many of the programs and events that are offered at St. John's, whether they be serious and solemn or frivolous and fun, are all aimed at being a catalyst for daily conversion of life. Our collect for the day goes on to ask that we may show ourselves thankful. And that, of course, is what we gather to do week in and week out throughout the year. The Eucharist, this service that we celebrate every week, means, it's a Greek word, means thanksgiving. Whatever has happened in our lives over the past year, we have gathered to give thanks. At the birth of a child, in the midst of an illness, to celebrate the love of 2 people in the face of death, we have stood at this altar and given thanks